Yo, vintage got the boom back.
Welcome to the Fantasy Savvy Weekly Show with your host, Steve D'Angelo, presented by the Faceoff Sports Network, discussing high-stakes fantasy football, waiver, fab, free agent pickups, NFL picks, and more. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. And welcome to the Fantasy Savvy Show with your host, Steve D'Angelo, sponsored by the Faceoff Sports Network. Once again, back for an FFWC live playoff draft. This is going to be 14 rounds, 6 guys in the league. I want to bring up this draft board real quick and just give you guys a good idea of how this is all going to work with this FFWC. 45 seconds to the draft. You can see the draft board there. So, again, there's 6 teams in the league. It's a $229 entry. The winner of the league wins $500. And also, you are playing for championship round money. I think the number one overall winner ends up winning $50K. So, it's kind of a little bit of a high stakes playoff draft by the FFWC. If you guys remember, we did do a super flex draft with FFWC way back, before the start of the year. They have a ton of different contests. Pretty good site, FFPC, NFC. Those guys just, their style, their format is just you can kind of pick whoever you want with certain restrictions. And this is more standard fantasy where you get to do a nice draft. Again, just 6 guys in the league, 14 rounds, just playoff teams. So the rosters obviously can't be that big. There's not that much of a player pool, not as much. There's only 12 teams, 14 teams in the playoffs, rather. So we'll get into all of it. We'll get into some of these playoff matchups early on in week 1, in the wild card round. We'll kind of go through our picks, who we like to advance past this weekend, and that will kind of reflect in the way I'm drafting this team. All right, so I think I'm up here. Let me just make this pick. It's going to be fairly easy for me. And I'm going to go with Josh Allen to start this baby off. And I do expect the Bills to get to the Super Bowl. Obviously, it's a tough road for them. They do have to go through Baltimore next round, if they advance past this round. And then possibly play the Chiefs in the AFC championship game before they go to the Super Bowl. You could argue maybe the Lions as the 1 seed have a little bit of an easier road. They still probably got to take on Philly, but they could take on the Vikings again. They could take on the Bucks again, etc. So, maybe the Lions are the team to kind of stack here, or Philly possibly if you feel really strongly about them. But again, they do have to go on the road into Detroit and take care of business. We'll see what's up with Jalen Hurts. I'm expecting to be fine. Coming back from that concussion, he's got plenty of time to clear protocol. I'm sure he will clear protocol and be absolutely fine. But guys, make sure you are liking, subscribing, hitting that notification button, sharing. FFWC playoff fantasy football draft. You have Underdog where you can draft, and that's best ball. You have DraftKings as well. We've done a few of those already. Drafters also has one. And then, like I said, NFC and FFWC. And I think RT Sports probably has a format where you're just picking, pick whatever players you want under certain restrictions. Whereas this is, 14 rounds of drafting, 16 leagues. So this is even further than DraftKings and Drafters, where you go 12 rounds. This is 14 rounds. And you can take kickers and defenses in this as well. So that's also a little bit different. And, obviously in these playoff drafts, kickers and defenses, and we're held up here. They're trying to get one of the guys into the room. But kickers and defenses have more value in these playoff drafts because obviously if you have a kicker, from a team that's going to play the wild card round all the way to the Super Bowl, they're going to give you more points than some of these later picks. Some of these guys you may try to stack like maybe try to get Keon Coleman or Mac Hollins for the Bills now with Amari Cooper, away from the team. What's going to happen there? We don't know. But the kickers can really rack up points. So can defenses, through interceptions, through sacks. So the quarterbacks have the most value. You see those guys go off the board first in most of these. And then the kickers and the defense will go earlier than your normal drafts because they just carry so much more value. They're going to give you those points as they continue to advance. And it's another way to stack teams that you really like. So thanks for joining us tonight, guys. If you guys want to comment on anything playoffs, you want to talk about anything specific, we'll get into it. Are you guys doing any sorts of playoff drafts? We have a Faceoff Sports listeners staff draft tomorrow on a different site, fantasypostseason.com. Shout out to them. My friend runs that site actually, and you could actually create your own custom league there if you want and start your own playoff draft, get your own, league mates in there and do a draft on there as well. They have other contests as well that they're doing. So check that out, fantasypostseason.com. But we do have, Pete, Anthony, Mike, like 4 or 5 listeners, some other guys, 14 teams. So, now with the new format, you can go 14 teams because there's 14 quarterbacks to be taken, 14 defenses, 14 kickers, obviously with the 14 teams. So, back in the day, you can only really do 12 teams because you didn't want to leave people off without getting a quarterback. But now you can expand it to 14 teams. So like that a lot and excited about that. That will be at 7:00. I think we're going to broadcast that. We'll see. But if not, we'll be back for more playoff drafts, more underdog, DK, drafters, maybe another 1 or 2 of these as well. You could have many different entries in this as you want. I think I don't know what the max is on this, maybe 50. Some guys maybe hit that max. Every year I kind of do like maybe 5 or 6 of these, or 3, 4, 5, something like whatever I can kind of get to before the week starts. And they go all the way up till right to the playoff starts. So check it out, FFWC, fulltimefantasy.com. Definitely a well-run site. And I like the format, this playoff format specifically. So far I took Allen, then goes Lamar to Team Rozek. Gridiron goal goes Amon-Ra, which is a nice pick. Again, Lions could go really far. And I guess, he could take the Lions and still, take a couple different quarterbacks there as well. Gets Mahomes at quarterback there. Barkley goes, and then Mahomes goes. And this guy, Glenneration, is up for 2 picks. See what he goes with here. And then, you can come in here. You can set your own rankings. You come a little more prepared. I just kind of did this on a whim last second. This is the first one I've done this season. Just kind of going through the playoffs. Again, I like the Bills to go to the Super Bowl. I think it's going to be either the Lions. I think the Lions, for me, have the best shot with the home field. I think, obviously, the Eagles are tough. They can go into Detroit and beat them. But, the Bucs could get there. The Packers, I don't know, just lost Christian Watson. That's a big injury for them. We saw how they looked against Minnesota without Watson. Didn't look that great. They didn't play that great yesterday either. Love left the game early as a precaution. They're saying he's fine. He should play. This week in the wild card game against the Eagles, they're a 4-point underdog. I believe it was 3.5. It opened at, and I think it jumped up to 5. Now it's down to 4. Steelers, the first game of the weekend will be Chargers, Texans, and the Chargers are a dog, road favorite rather, -2.5. Total in that game is 42.5. Steelers, Ravens on 8:00 on Prime. Baltimore, I saw that. I think it was 8.5. Now it's up 10. Everybody's fading the Steelers right now. Nobody likes them. And they definitely aren't playing good football right now. They dropped 4 straight. George Pickens is a head case. So it's a hot mess right now. So it's coming back down. DeAndre Hopkins. Wow. That is interesting. Goes in the second round. Do not like that very much. Would rather have Xavier Worthy. I don't know why he would go over Hopkins. Even Hollywood Brown, you could argue, could go over Hopkins there. So interesting pick there by Bronco. But he gets the Mahomes Hopkins stack. Team Schliss takes Derrick Henry. Certainly a fine pick there. So let's see here. If James Cook is there, I will take him. To have James Cook and Allen, very nice combination. We saw what James Cook did all year. I really like taking him in the second round. Obviously, I think the Bills are going to the Super Bowl at the very least. I think they're going to the AFC Championship game. So, to get 3 games from Allen and Cook with some other pieces could still work, even if they don't make it to the Super Bowl. Obviously, playing for championship purposes in this format, you probably need the Bills to go to the Super Bowl to win that overall prize, but I could still win my league prize, out of these 6 teams without them even making it to the Super Bowl. So our first pick will be James Cook. And we're back to back here as I had the first overall pick. And we could look to, the AFC, the NFC rather now. Justin Jefferson, Puka. We could look at the tight ends, Kelsey. Montgomery is not a bad one. This is a tough spot here, boys. The Bucks, you know what? I kind of like them to beat the Commanders. I'm going to take Mike Evans. I get 2 games out of Mike Evans. Maybe I can get 3. I could have went Jefferson. I could have went Puka. But I feel like that game is more of a 50-50 toss-up to me. Minnesota's coming, they're an away favorite here, -1.5 against the Rams Monday night. The Rams could win that game, could take Puka, could take Jefferson, but I feel most confident in Mike Evans there. 50.5 total in that Commanders game also. So kind of like it for points. If I can get 2 games out of the Bucks there, I'll be very happy in that 3-6 matchup. And then, obviously if the Eagles beat the Packers, they will go on to play. They'll go on to play Philly, the Bucks, in the second round. And, they have a good history against Philly. So, never know. Could pull an upset. You get 3 games from the Bucks with that Mike Evans pick. That's absolute gold. Let me see. I got to sort this list out a little bit. It's a little funky here. Let me try to also blow this up for you guys a little bit, make it a little bit bigger. Hopefully that's a little more visible now. There you can go. As you can see, I got Allen, Cook, Evans. Team Rosette goes Jackson, Brown, Devonta. So he's got the Eagles, Ravens, Super Bowl. Then Gridiron Gold goes Brown, Diggs, Puka, Schlitzby takes Barkley, Henry, Jefferson, and then Bronco takes Mahomes, Hopkins, Kelsey. Scrolling over here, Gleneration's got Goff, Gibbs, and Flowers. And Flowers got hurt. I guess it's a chance he may miss this game. I saw he cut his hair. I don't know what that does for him, but he cut off the dreads a little bit, the little locks. So, maybe he shaved his head. Maybe he's feeling good. Maybe he's going to get out there. He should get out there. So a little bit risky pick. We'll have to wait and see. There goes Gus Edwards. I see. I don't don't understand that pick either. Why would you not take J.K. Dobbins? Gus Edwards over J.K. Dobbins. So he gets one guy that's possibly could miss this week, and then he takes the second running back on the Chargers with J.K. Dobbins back in the mix. I mean, Dobbins didn't get hurt Sunday, did he? As far as I heard, everything's fine, right? So yeah, I don't understand that. But things like that happen. You do enough of these, and that obviously helps the rest of the board. So there you go. Bronco is back up. So let's see what I'm going to do here. Obviously hosting and sorting this all out might put me at a little bit of a disadvantage. But let's cue some guys here. Kyron, Montgomery for sure. Montgomery is expected to play. I would expect Montgomery to play. He's a baller. It's interesting. We saw Gibbs just have a monster game. 3-4 touchdowns last night. Oh, just showcasing his speed. And, with Gibbs getting all those freaking touches, it really is very, very dangerous. I mean, he's just so explosive. I blew this up now. I can't even see what the hell they're saying in the chat. There we go. Okay. He wanted somebody else. Oh. He says he wanted Jameson Williams and Laporta. So Flowers and Edwards are back in the pool. Maybe he's watching this show and he heard me just ridicule his both picks. And now he puts those guys back in the pool. So I don't understand how the hell you take Flowers and Edwards. And then he probably rethought it and realized it was a huge mistake. And maybe he didn't realize, Dobbins came back, and maybe he didn't realize Flowers got hurt. He did a little research, or somebody told him real quick. So he told the commissioner, and the commissioner pulled back both those picks. Not sure I totally agree with that, but because I don't know how you miss both of those picks there. So I don't know. It is what it is. And I'm not gonna be able to convince the commissioners. So just keep it moving. I'm back on the clock now. And let's see. Dave Flowers is back out there. Khalil Shakir. If I can get another bill here, it's probably what I want to do. Continue to stack the bills. So let's get Shakir. And then we're going to go back and we're going to take David Montgomery. We're going to expect him to play next week. And obviously, I think the Lions, to me, they have the best chance of going to the Super Bowl. They're the favorite, not by much. I think they're 2-1. Eagles are 3-1. So very close. But Montgomery should be back. He's a big part of the team. He gets another week to rest, which is huge. So he certainly should be back for the divisional round. So we'll go David Montgomery. I think he's been out, next week would be about a month, or 3 weeks rather. So 3-4 weeks. So he should be okay. MCL injury. He should be back. Well, hopefully he's back. And I think he will. So a little bit of a risk there, but I think Montgomery's a baller. He'll find a way to get out there. And I expect him to play 2 or 3 games. So I like that pick. There's my NFC side. So I got 3 Bills. And I got 2 guys in the NFC with Mike Evans and David Montgomery. So I like the start so far. And really, I mean, I don't really need to take another quarterback. If I feel like the Bills are going to the Super Bowl now, I maybe if Herbert's sticking around there for a little while, or if there's a team there I could think can make a run to the Super Bowl, maybe Baker, if he's sitting, maybe I'll go back there. But I just kind of want to focus on these positional players and continue to stack up the Bills. Maybe get 1 more Bill, maybe 2 more Bills. Also, you can take kickers and defenses too. So again, kickers and defenses are going to go earlier in these type of drafts than regular, fantasy drafts. So we'll see when the first one goes off. But, I'd like to get Bills defense and Bills kicker if I could. So we are there goes Xavier Worthy again. DeAndre Hopkins goes in the freaking second round. Um, I mean, that's brutal. I don't know why he did that. It wasn't taken back. He didn't ask to take it back. Then we saw Gus Edwards go over Dobbins, and he took that back. But Glenneration now, um, he's got he just went back to back Chiefs with Xavier Worthy and Marquise Brown after my Montgomery pick. Zay Flowers does indeed go. Isaiah Pacheco, Aaron Jones, Kareem Hunt, Xavier Worthy, Marquise Brown, Cooper Cup, Lad McConkey, Isaiah Likely. This draft is moving pretty quick. It's coming back around to me again. So didn't take long. Amari Cooper is sitting there. Now, he went on personal leave this week. He was out last week against the Patriots. Obviously, they didn't need him to play anyway. But he's still not back with the team, and they don't know when he's coming back. I mean, I would expect him to come back. So, I mean, it's a little bit of a risk to take him right now. Could go Jacobs, could go JK. Let me see what tight ends are left. Could go Kincaid. You know what? I'm going to take Kincaid. So another Bill continuing to stack the Bills here. Bills all the way. A huge Bills stack. The Bills players don't really seem to be going. So maybe people feel like with the way the Chiefs are playing down the stretch, maybe people feel like the Ravens are going to go into Buffalo and beat them. And again, I'm going to do a couple of these. I had the first pick, so I took Allen. So if I had the second or third pick, I probably would take Lamar Jackson and build my team a different way. But since I had the first pick, now I'm just going all Bills. Kind of want to take Jacobs, but that's like a one and done pretty much to me. I'll take Dobbins. I think the Chargers are going to play 2 games. I think they'll beat the Texans. And I feel like, they have an outside chance to possibly beat the Chiefs. I think they could take down the Chiefs. There's a world where they could. So, Lad goes. Herbert hasn't went yet, I don't believe. Yeah, he's still there. But Lad is gone. J.K. Dobbins is gone. A lot of charges will be taken. There goes Matthew Stafford, Joe Mixon as well, Jordan Addison. Good pick there. Vikings certainly could play a couple games as well. Amari Cooper's interesting. If he's there on the way back, I might just have to take him. I don't think is Amari Cooper just going to say, "Oh, I have a chance to win the Super Bowl"? No, I'm not going to join the Bills for the rest of the playoff. Like that would just be really, really awkward. I don't think that's going to happen. So I don't know what's going on. He's not back with the team yet, but I would expect him back in the next day or two with Buffalo. And they've kind of been ramping up his snaps and his routes. Like he's still running less routes than Matt Collins, and even a couple games ago Curtis Samuel. So a little bit strange. He's been there for what 5-6 games maybe. So maybe he's not fully accustomed to the offense yet, but you expect him to get a little bit more geared up. As these playoffs go on. But he's got to get back in the building. He's got to get back in the building. So right now he's not in the building. He's still sitting out there. I don't know why they have Rashee Rice on this list. That should be off. But the best receivers here, they also have Godwin on here. I don't know why they wouldn't edit that. But that's why you got to make your own rankings here. But we'll put Cooper on there. You got Nico. It's not a bad one. And they pull an upset against the Chargers, and they're 2.5 point dog. There goes Bucky Irving. That was a good pick. Yeah, I should have took Bucky over Dobbins there, but I do have Evans. Yeah, I could have stacked the Bucks there. Yeah, I usually do take Bucky in that spot. That was just a slip. So that was a mistake. I'll admit it. I would prefer Bucky Irving over Dobbins, but you could argue, maybe Dobbins could outperform Bucky. It is possible, but definitely would rather prefer Bucky Irving in that spot. So Glenneration goes Jacobs, Bucky. Before that, McLaurin goes, and then Brian Robinson and Dallas Goedert go. All right. So Gridiron goals up and Rosek, and then I'm back up for 2 more picks. Um, let's see what we're looking at here. Blake Corum is out. He broke his arm or something yesterday. So he's going to be out. I guess we're going to see Ronnie Rivers again for the Rams. There goes Nico. Not that many good running backs left. Rashad White is still there. Jaden Reed, Christian Watson, torn ACL. He'll be out for the playoffs. Obviously, that is a big loss. Dontavian Wicks comes into the picture. George Pickens is still there. Cortland Sutton, but again, they're one and done. Keon Coleman is there if I want to get another bill. Jalen McMillan, not a bad one either. Let's see what I want to do here. I'm kind of pissed I missed out on my boy Bucky, to tell you the truth. TJ Hawkinson's not a bad one. Kraft. All right. I'm going to go McMillan. So I got Evans and McMillan. So a little bit of a buck stack here now. And I got another pick. Do I go another bill here? Do I go Keon Coleman? Or do I take a Packer? Maybe Jaden Reed, maybe Ray Davis. Mari Cooper was taken right before me. Interesting. I'm going to take Keon Coleman. So I got another bill. So I have 4 bills: Allen, Cook, Shakir, Coleman, 5 bills: Coleman, Kincaid. And I have $2: McMillan and Evans. I have Montgomery, and I have J.K. Dobbins. So we are in the 9th round against 14 rounds. I believe you don't have to take a kicker or a defense if you don't want to. But obviously, I think it kind of makes sense to, because it just completes your lineup and you're going to get points for that. So if you punt kicker and defense, obviously you're going to take away those points. But on the other hand, you could stack more positional players, which could help too. Whereas you can get maybe you take a kicker or defense that gets knocked out in the first round. They're not really going to do much for you anyway. So at some point, again, I do want to get Buffalo defense and the freaking Buffalo kicker. Maybe I'll take a couple Packers here. I mean, Dobbs is still there. Wicks might be there. Pickens is still there. Sutton's not a bad pick. Even if I get one game out of Sutton, might not be bad. For points. I'm not really trying to hedge there, obviously. Eckler is back now. They could possibly advance. Not a terrible pick. Could go Ray Davis. Jalen Warren and Najee are still there. And again, I don't think I really want to take a quarterback, but Baker, Herbert, Love, Daniels are all still there. But again, if the Bills lose, I'm done. So it's like, what the hell is the even point? I mean, I could take Baker, I guess. Maybe the Bucks make a run. Maybe I win this league somehow. So I could do that. But then to win the league, I could. They probably would have to get to the championship game. Shot in the dark to win the tournament thing with if they go to the Super Bowl, but that's not, I guess that's a shot in the dark, obviously. But they could. I mean, it's not like the Lions, the Vikings, and the Eagles are that much better than the Bucks, right? I mean, I think there's some value on the Bucks. They can make a run. The Packers, I think the Watson injury hurts. I think also Love is not playing as good as he did last year. Jerry Alexander's out now. There goes Baker. There goes Jaden Daniels. There goes Quentin Johnson. So yeah, I don't know. I felt a bit better about the Packers like a week or two ago. Then they didn't play good against the Vikings. Then now Watson's out. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, LaFleur's got to really turn it up though. I mean, they do still have a lot of good weapons. They could throw Malik Heath in there and Bo Melton. Those guys kind of fit good in the system too. They still got Tucker Kraft and Musgrave, Jacobs. Their defense is still pretty sound. But yeah. And they could be Philly. I mean, they could. It's not like it's not like Philly's like this monster favorite to beat the Packers. I mean, the Packers could go into Philly and take them down. So I think a lot of these NFC games are very. I mean, this whole tournament, this whole playoff, there's a lot of parity. You know, Obviously, I think Lamar, Mahomes, and Allen. I think one of them will raise the Lombardi Trophy. And then in the NFC, I would give a lean to the Lions with the home field. Um, and I want to see if Tim Patrick's there because it's not a terrible pick here. Something to think about anyway. And I could go Lions kicker also or Lions defense. I don't know why I can't type right now. Yeah, Tim Patrick still is there. And I am on the clock. All right, so Dobbs is still there. I don't mind it. Pickens is still there. Dobbs, even if he plays one game with a bonus of 2, it's not terrible. So I'm gonna go Dobbs for 1 pick. Again, Christian Watson's out. Dobbs has been one of their most running the most routes, snaps all year pretty much. Had a little hiccup early in the year. Do I go Bills kicker or Bills defense here, or do I wait? I mean, who's going to take Bills defense and Bills kicker at this point? I mean, I have them so stacked. I guess somebody could sneak them, but you know what? I'll be happy with one of them. So I'm going to take a positional player and hope to get one of them on the way back. Do I double up on the Packers? Do I go Rashad White? Even though Bucky's kind of erasing him now. 12 seconds. Shit. Did I get him? I took George Pickens. I know they're 9-point dogs, and Pickens is a shit show right now, but should be you expect Pickens to step up this week. I mean, they have to use him. They got to throw him the ball. They got to get him involved. They got to get his head out of his ass. So if he gives me 20 points in 1 week, I'll take it. I mean, there's not that many good picks right now. We're in the 11th round, so I got 3 more picks left, 12, 13, 14. I need a kicker. I need a defense. Probably going to go at least one of them is going to be Bills. Probably not going to take 2 quarterbacks. So we'll see what happens here down the stretch. Probably need another tight end too. I could run with Kincaid, but there's not that many good tight ends. I mean, Kraft, I guess I could take. I don't want Schultz. Higbee, it's not a terrible one. Oh, Noah Gray. Noah Gray is a nice one. That's one I may take there. We saw Noah Gray really step up, down the stretch, be a pretty decent part of the offense. But now with Hollywood in there, it might change a little bit. And he didn't really do much this past couple games. Let's see. What are we looking at here? Curtis Samuel. I'm not taking him. I think I'm good with receivers. I mean, I could go Tim Patrick. Matt Collins is also there if I want to go down another Bill. Do I want to go Lions defense or Bills defense? There goes the Lions kicker. I probably would have preferred the Lions kicker. But he's gone. But I was just thinking to get another Lion there would have been nice. I don't have any Eagles. I could take the Eagles kicker. That's not a bad That's not a bad, just in case the Eagles get there and I have all the Bills and I have the Eagles kicker in the Super Bowl. It's not a terrible one. And then just take the Bills defense. So maybe I'll do that. But so far, guys, you see the board. We'll go over some of these teams. We'll go over these teams when we're done. But you see the stacks. You see how the way these guys are building their teams. Rozek obviously has the Ravens stack with Andrews and Jackson and Flowers and Bateman and Ravens defense. Gridiron Gold He's kind of a little all over the place with his team. Yeah, he's definitely all over the place with Stafford, Love, Ed Nix, St. Brown, Diggs. I don't know why he took Diggs. I don't know what the hell's going on. I don't know what these guys are doing. I mean, I don't know how the hell you take Diggs. I didn't even notice that until now. Um, all right, so what do I want to do here? So we're gonna go Bills D. That's one. And do we go Eagles kicker? Do we double up on the Packers? Do we take Tim Patrick? Or do we go Noah Gray? Bills kicker is still there too. I mean, I could just have the entire Bills roster pretty much if I want, and then just figure out. Oh, I got one pick after this. Eagles or Bills kicker. Eagles or Bills kicker. Eagles or Bills kicker. All right, I took the Bills kicker. So it's all Bills. This is a complete Bills team. Allen, Cook, Shakir, Dobbs. I mean, Coleman rather. Dobbs. Shakir, Coleman, Kincaid, Bills. Kicker and Bills defense. I got one pick left. So I'm either going Dontavian Wicks, Kraft, Noah Gray, maybe Higbee. Nah, probably not. I only have 3 running backs. Ray Davis just goes. Ty Johnson's another one you could take too. I mean, he's had a lot of big catches for the Bills this year. So that's another back I could take, especially if Cook gets hurt. Kind of cuffs him a little bit. So I could do that as well. I doubt anybody's going to take him. So let's see. Interesting team though. Yeah, I'm kind of happy. I kind of wish I had I could take the Lions defense too. No, I don't want the Lions defense. No point. All right, so let's see how we finish this baby up. There goes Tyler Higbee. Let's see who's left here. I got Wicks, Kraft, Jalen Warren, Najee, Patrick Gray, and Ty Johnson in my queue here. That's really it. I don't really see anything else worthy. Yeah, the receivers are dead. Wicks is not a bad one, to kind of get that Packers stack. Maybe they make a run. It's not terrible. And then I have Bucks, Lions, Packers to kind of meet the Bills in the Super Bowl. No Vikings and no Eagles. Quarterbacks are done. The only quarterback left is Stroud. And there goes Tim Patrick. Wow. So I might just go. I'm either going to go Kraft, Wicks, or Ty Johnson here. Juju Smith-Schuster. I don't know how the hell Diggs went in the second round. But again, that helps. I don't know. Maybe this guy, maybe Diggs is coming back. Maybe there was a report Diggs could come back this week. I have no idea. I mean, didn't he tear his ACL? So he's done. I don't know what the hell is going on there. There was a lot of weird picks in this draft. So you put $230 into a draft. You wouldn't expect somebody to take Stephon Diggs in the second round. But hey, I lucked out. I'll take it. Maybe this guy, was away in Europe during the whole football season, just came back and he played a lot of FFWC last year and he played in this tournament last year and he wanted to get back into it. And maybe pressed the wrong button and he forgot to talk to the commissioner. I don't know. All right. I'm up, and then we'll wrap this baby up, and we'll go over some of the teams, and we'll get our final thoughts. And again, guys, like, subscribe, share. We'll be back for more postseason drafts. We also have a fantasy postseason.com draft tomorrow with the staff and some listeners at 7. I think we're going to broadcast that. All right. So I'm up. Ty Johnson, Kraft or Wicks? What do we like here? Anybody want to chime in? Wicks, Kraft, or Ty? I already have the Bills stack. I could get the Packers on the side. Again, if Cook gets hurt. Ty Johnson, obviously if the Bills go to the Super Bowl, he should score more than Wicks and Kraft. I'll take Kraft. Maybe the Packers take down the Eagles. There. So there you have it, guys. That is the squad. And we'll go over all these teams real quick. So my team, first pick, Josh Allen, Cook, Evans, Shakir, Montgomery, Kincaid, Dobbins, McMillan, Coleman, Dobbs, Pickens, Bills. Kicker, Bills defense, Tucker, Kraft. Second team is the Ravens stack. So I'm a Bills stack. Second team is Rozak with Jackson, A.J. Brown, Devonta Smith. So Ravens, Eagles, Andrews, Flowers, Bateman, Mixon, Cooper, Jaden Reed, Ravens D, Justice Hill, Ravens kicker, Ray Davis, and Marvin Mims. So you could see you got a couple Bills thrown in there too. But he also went pretty heavy on the Ravens, just like I went heavy on the Bills. He got the Bills kicker, the Bills defense. I got the Bills kicker, Bills defense, and he got the Ravens kicker and the Ravens defense. Gridiron and goal, he's kind of all over the place. He's got Stafford, Love, Knicks. So I don't know really what the hell he needs. And he took Diggs in the second round. So he's done. Schlibs, Team Schlibs, if I'm pronouncing it right. He takes Barkley, Henry. So Ravens, Eagles, Jefferson, Hurts. So Hurts, Barkley, Aaron Jones, McConkey, Addison, Goddard, another Eagle, Johnston, Herbert, Darnold, Rashad White, Vikings. So he's a little bit all over the place, but he does have a little bit of an Eagles stack. Only has the one Ravens. I don't know what he's trying to represent. I guess he's, he got a little bit of a Chargers run here with Herbert, Addison. Herbert, Johnston, McConkey. A little bit of a run there, maybe. And then Bronco, Mahomes, he's got the Chiefs stack. Mahomes, Hopkins in the second round. I don't know why he did that. Should have took Worthy. Maybe we'll work out. Then he gets Kelsey, Kyron, Kareem Hunt, another Chief, Cup. So he's got a Rams, Chiefs combo Super Bowl. But he also has the Commanders with Daniels, Robinson, and McLaurin. Justin Watson he takes. Wow. Chiefs, kicker, Eagles D, Higbee, and then last one, Gleneration X. This was the guy that took Flowers and Gus Edwards, and they throw back into the pool, and he fixed it with Jameson and Worthy. But he gets Goff, Gibbs, Jameson, Laporta. So he's got 4 straight Lions there to start. Then he gets Xavier Worthy and Marquise Brown. So he's got Lions, Chiefs. Jacobs for Green Bay, Bucky Irving, good pick. Again, I should have took Bucky Irving over Dobbins. That was a mistake on my part. I would take Irving pretty much every time over Dobbins in this. Although you could argue maybe the Chargers can make him, Dobbins could work out, but I just think Irving's the better back. He's more explosive. He gets 2 games. He could really, really just have a great. So that could cost me. I messed up a little bit on that. I was talking and I didn't see it. I wasn't thinking of it. Next draft, I will not miss that. Then he gets Sutton, Baker. It's a little bit of a buck stack with Baker and Irving, Lions kicker, Chiefs D, Tim Patrick, another Lion, and then Juju Smith-Schuster. So some interesting combos here. I kind of have a Bills, Bucks / Lions, Packers Super Bowl. This guy, Rozak, has Ravens and Eagles. Gridiron gold over the place. Schlizb is kind of Eagles and Chargers, mostly, I would say. Bronco is Chiefs and Rams / Commanders. And then Gleneration is Lions and Chiefs, which is a good one. I like the Lions-Chiefs combo. I really do think the Lions just seems like they're going to get to the Super Bowl. With the way they play, their running backs, being at home, the way they just protect Goff, it just seems like they're going to get to the Super Bowl. It really does. It really does. So, in the future when I do this, I would love to have more of a Lions Bills combo. But if I don't get out with that first pick, I'll go Jackson probably, and I'll go Ravens. Could go Mahomes too, or I could wait like this guy did, Glenneration. He was in the 6th spot and he took Goff, and I think that was a good pick for the 6th spot. And I would do the same thing he did, was just stack Lions. So if I get to the beginning of the draft, I'm probably going to go Bills. I get to the end of the draft, I'll probably go Lions. But again, every draft's different. Guys are going to get taken different spots. There's different owners are going to do different shit. They got so many different, especially if people have multiple different entries, they're going to have all these different combos. You never know what the hell's going to happen. And then once in a while, you're going to get a guy that takes Stephon Diggs in the 2nd round, like what's happened here. So that's it, guys. Just wanted to show you that 45 minutes in the books. FFWC Fantasy Football Circa Draft. I did participate in their Superflex draft. I advanced in my league. I think I finished like 80th overall. Also did the Circa Las Vegas Championship, and I was 18th overall in that. So I'll be back again. I only had 3 teams in that tournament too. So I finished higher there than I did in the NFC with more teams in the NFC. I think in the NFC, my highest team was like 100th. FFPC, there's a lot more teams in there. I think my highest finish was like 1,000, but won a few leagues there, won a few leagues in NFC, and then also FFWC. So it was a good season overall. I'd like to do a recap video at some point. We'll see, maybe after the playoffs. Recapping the entire fantasy football season and the playoffs, and the best ball draft. But it's been a lot of work. It's good to take a break from the rankings and all that. But I hope you guys enjoyed. Again, we'll be back tomorrow. I think we're going to broadcast our staff listener fantasy postseason playoff draft, another draft. That's going to be 12 rounds with 14 teams instead of 6. So that's going to go really deep. And then Wednesday, we got a playoff preview coming up. More best ball drafts. I'm sure with DK Pete, we'll probably be doing a lot more to come. So make sure you're liking and subscribing, and hit me up on Twitter. You guys have any questions? You want to talk anything? Hit me up on Twitter at Fantasy Savvy, on X rather. So that's it. Take care, guys. Have a great rest of the week. We will see you soon.